and welcome back to another video from Inter Dream Team. How's it going, boys?
All good.
Yeah,
all good.
Game week 4 Premier League games reaction video. Talk to me about your transfer recommendations, Ross.
Yeah, nowhere near as good this week as last week, unfortunately. Not yet, anyway, because all of the players that I picked on double game weeks, unfortunately, big hit in KDB, only managed a couple of points at the weekend against Brentford. Anana for Villa, I think actually went off at half-time. Again, couple of points. Young boys up next, so hopefully he'll get some minutes there and be a bit of a better performance. The only sort, I wouldn't exactly call it a shining light, but slightly better would be Maddison, 6 points, 3 bonus points for him. Looking quite good. Coventry up next, so probably, I don't know, hit and miss whether he'll play in that one, but if he does, and I expect him to score decent. But for me, Maddison is, especially with Europe coming up, a good long-term hold. How about you, Suli?
Put the curse on the Liverpool defence, didn't I? Obviously three clean sheets and 3 for them. So Forest at home, you're thinking, well, bish bash bosh, another one up the sleeve, shouldn't be any problems at all. But yeah, Liverpool done a classic Liverpool sort of thing, and highest score amongst the back 4 was 3 points for Trent, 3 points for Van Dijk. He obviously conceded the goal, and Forest looked good for it from what I saw. They they done well. I think my other recommendation, Rico Lewis, just the 45 for him as well. So yeah. But like we say, we're halfway through the game week. Things could all turn around. Not sure how many more minutes these guys will get in the midweek, but we'll see. What do you reckon, Rob? How'd you go?
Very similar, mate, to be honest. I was on the old Liverpool bus as well. Obviously, the old honeymoon period's officially over now, isn't it, for Slot? But yeah, like everybody really for Liverpool, no one really performed that well. Jota was the one I recommended. Got 3 points, took off about 60 minutes, I think he got took off. But like I say, they've got that other game coming up, and I think is a good long-term option. And the other one I went for was, I said at the time, a bit of a gamble. João Pedro didn't even make the squad against Ipswich. And he's doubtful for the cup game because apparently he came back from Brazil with a slight niggle. So he went up a little bit in value, 0.3 million. So bit of a disappointing transfers for us this week, hasn't it? But personally, I actually went for Diaz as well, Liverpool, and he returned 3 points for me. So like I say, he went up in value as well, which was quite nice. But he's a player that, I had him a bit last season. He looked like a world beater. I transferred him in, and then he was like Mr. Bean on the left wing. So I fully expect him to come back with quite low points, really. And the other one I brought in was actually Digne of Aston Villa. I'm quite happy with that one because he got an assist. He got 8 points, and he went up in value, and he's another good long-term hold for me. Who did you bring in, Sully?
I found it really tough this week. Always do after the international breaks. I think most of the gaffers in the game, we all struggle. We all overthink it. It's just uncertainty of minutes. All the South American players, they've got a long flight. They're going to be tired. The whole Pedro thing. I think he was one of the most transferred in players this week. That stung a lot of gaffers. And even the talk in the press conferences, they were saying, his flight came in all right. He's all right. He's most likely to be in the squad, and then boom, pulled the rug out from underneath all of you. I nearly 12th-manned Pedro, so fucking hell, thank God I did not 12th-man Pedro. I also contemplated on 12th-man and Kevin De Bruyne. Thank God I didn't. Cooler minds prevailed. Thanks for the advice, Rob. I'll hold my 12th-man for another day.
That's it.
Actually done all right this week. 92 points so far for me. I brought Trent in because I feel like Trent is just going to go up in value every week. And even though he blanked, on Saturday, I think he's, got to be a long-term hold. And that left me with 2.8 and a crop of maybe 5 players who were going to price rise and were actually going to be half worth bringing in. So I went for Duran. And Duran, bang, 30 yards. Barely any backlift. What a goal. Let's hope he can get another couple against the young boys midweek. So yeah, not too bad for me. Not too bad at all. How'd you go, Ross?
Yeah, I mean, I got a bit hot-headed, so I did play my 12th man. And I thought, fuck Rob, he didn't know what he's talking about. I played my 12th man, and so in future, listen to the old Simon Says, but never know. He might pick up some more points later in the week. So Trent was my 12th man. My other two, I'm not too. They're both long-term holds. I did go for the strategy of deciding to shift Palmer on, although he's a player I really like. I don't think he's going to play enough games. And KDB, his history in the Dream Team is legendary. So I kind of feel like he's someone you're going to want to have in, or he can end up ballooning out of control and you can't afford him. And I brought in Eze, although no Europe. I just felt like the way he's been playing and the way he played throughout last season when he was with the Lycée as well, he was like unstoppable. Unfortunately, again, not much in the way of points returns over the weekend, but I'm not really overly concerned about that. And plus, I wanted to.
Slight disappointment from that. Obviously, the first time I've seen Palace get a penalty and no Eze on the penalty. They Mateta now penalty taker.
Yeah, it's an odd one. That I didn't really understand it. But in a way, with the Eze thing, I say it's disappointing because he also went up in value. So there's options as things develop in the week. You could always think, well, okay, he's not done it this week. There's somebody else I really need. So I think, well, I was intending to keep him long term, but I can take advantage of that price rise and move him on. So, yeah,
he could score big against QPR midweek. That's for sure.
Definitely, because he played in the last cup game as well, didn't he, for them? So
he did.
Yeah, he's a great option. I mean, who are your standout sort of performers this week, then, boys?
Well, one for me, and he's probably going to be now a return to the form for the next few fixtures. Is Watkins. He should have had his hat trick. He looked electric at times. So I think he's going to be someone who's a lot of people will be looking to see how they can shuffle their team for that third striker option. If you are a sensible gaffer and you already have Salah and Haaland.
For me, I'm now going to have 8 European players in my team. 2 transfers this week. Obviously, going to then make that 10 players. I've got a Leno in goal. No Europe for him. I want to shift him on. Leno's 3 million, and Robert Sanchez in goal for Chelsea. He is also 3 million, and you probably owe the 3 points for Chelsea this week to him. Yeah. He's got 12 points on the board. He's made 7 saves and 1 penalty save. So for me, I'm eyeing up some Sanchez. If you're looking for a goalkeeper, 3 million, he's going to rise, and he's got Europe. So bear that in mind. Talk to me about the McNeil deal, Rob.
The McNeil deal. Wow, he is on fire at the moment, isn't he? We're going through the rankings. Top 4. It's Haaland, Salah, McNeil, and Saka. So, how do you like them apples? Yeah, he got obviously looking through his stats, 15 points, didn't he? The other day, goal and assists, 46 points in total for him is crazy, isn't it? Really, 3.5, I think, at the moment, isn't he? So, flying, isn't he, at the moment?
You caveat that with the fact that Everton haven't won a game yet.
It's mad though, because I know a lot of people would completely discount a player like McNeil. But if you look at their next fixtures, they've actually got Southampton, Leicester, Palace, Newcastle, Ipswich, Fulham, and Southampton all in a row, and they've got a high majority of home games. So that's it's an intriguing one at his price point.
Yeah, his ownership will go up on it. I mean, I was looking actually. No, it's a pretty obvious one, but the Man United game. I mean, they were expected to win against Southampton, but De Ligt 2.9 million, 17 points. And you're looking at what he got there. It was impressive, wasn't it? So he could be a good option. Obviously, he's going to go up in price. I shouldn't think he'll play against Barnsley in the cup, but they've got some nice fixtures coming up. And Fernandez as well. I know he's still quite expensive currently. I think he's like 5.7 million, but he got 8 points. He's going to get a big haul soon as well, isn't he? So. Yeah, there's some good options there. Garnacho keeps playing him off the bench, doesn't he, all the time? He keeps having like 20 minutes here, and whenever he comes off the bench, he always does well, doesn't he? So if he was starting games, he'd be definitely considered as an option for me.
Yeah, a few takeaways from that Man United game. It could just be a flash in the pan, just purely because we've already highlighted Southampton's weaknesses. So harsh on them because at I think first half, they looked so good. They just didn't score. They didn't capitalise on their chances. And then, the weaknesses in the defence, even a team like Man United can pick them off. But, Rashford looked back to his best at times. Xerxes and Ahmad and Rashford all linked up really nicely at times, played some really nice fast football. So there could be some light at the end of the tunnel there for United fans. But yeah, still an issue in midfield with Eriksen being selected next to Mainu. But who knows? They could be good players. And Mazraoui, fullback, looks like a very good signing indeed.
Yeah.
So all of these teams that we're talking about, they're the European teams, and like I say, I'll be looking to make it 10 players in my squad, in European contention, and we recommend that you all do the same. Get filled up now with the Euro players. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Have we got a little shout out on X for old Gary?
Oh, Gary.
Advice? Yeah. Old Gary.
You might have a shout out for Gary, mightn't you?
Oh, I've got a shout. Yeah. So if you want to give this guy a follow, very good with the old Sun Dream Team advice. Good friend of ours. At dreamteam_help on the old X. So check him out, please.
All right then. All right. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you midweek for our transfers recommendations video.
See you all soon.